What up, people? What's good? Salute, salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. We're a niche channel. And reserved for the best is super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at @6th_element_comic. We do live auctions, live claim sales. I rock with Tooth and Claw, hit animated television series. Scotty Young joint, blowing up fast. X-23. So this is dope, man. All right, so this is beautiful. Yo, what up, man? That was the new intro right there.
Dope.
That was made by my man Ali ALC. Shout out to Ali for that. He definitely looked out. That was definitely fire right there.
Yeah, it was.
All right, Key.
Definitely different, definitely fire, definitely cutting edge.
Cutting edge, yeah, I like that. So it is issue number 23 of New Comic Book Day Indie Review. And we got a couple of beautiful books to talk about today. We got King Spawn number 1, highly anticipated, and Helm. You know what? Okay, so we were going to talk about Helm Greycastle, but we found a comic that we liked even better. And I had already made the title and everything, but instead, we really want to talk about
the
Me You Love in the Dark.
We gotta talk about the Me You Love in the Dark.
It's phenomenal. It's crazy. It's really good.
I was able to get issue 1 as well.
Issue
1 is on a second printing. Normally, when a comic has a second printing, it's normally pretty good.
Yeah, usually, that's a good indicator. You know that they've sold so many that they got to print it again.
Right.
You know, like Something Is Killing the Children's on like their 8th printing of issue 1.
That's insane. I don't think in my lifetime I've ever heard of a comic getting 8 printings. This is the first time I've ever seen it.
Well, and it's happening now because of the crazy influx in the community itself, in the hobby itself.
Right.
It's just blown up so big that shit is happening like that.
So you're saying that because everybody's buying it, they just keep printing it. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot more people buying it now. There's a lot more people involved in the hobby, and then everything from like your spec guys and your flippers to your old school collectors. Now you've got also all these new collectors that started since the pandemic. The pandemic, for some reason, spawned a major increase in collectors. Value, went up exponentially for books that, a book that was $1,000 is now, $8,000, $10,000.
Right.
It's gone insane.
I think Reno, it might have to do with the fact that usually when guys are working at that, they're like, "Oh, I don't have time to collect. I don't have time to do this. I got on for an hour." But once the pandemic hit, they had time on their hands. So people were like, "Well, let me revamp my collection and make it look like Reno's collection in the background." They had time to do it.
You will try.
Yeah. So then they were like, "Well, once I got it set up, they're like, well, what can I add to it?"
Right.
So it's supply and demand. Now
we had all the stim checks, people getting stimulus, which for a lot of people was extra money that they didn't need. They just I got extra money. Oh, I can finally start investing in those comics that I wanted to check out. A lot of us, for me, like I was collecting comics when I was 12 or 13, and then I kind of stopped, when I got to be, later teen. And then I picked it back up maybe like 2018 because House of X, Powers of X came out and all of that stuff. And it just got me deep back into it. And I started buying a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? But it just builds, man. You just all of a sudden you got a short box full, and then you got 2, and then now you got a big collection happening.
This is we don't even want to talk about looking at a stack of comics now. We don't even want to talk about how it grows and how fast it does grow fast, bro. Because before and then if you find a story arc you start reading that, then you'll go back and read something else. Then you'll be like, oh, let me read this. It's catchy. It's addictive, man.
Yeah, it is. It's very addicting. And like, people that walk into like ever since I did stop collecting as a teen and in between like 2018, my whole life, I would go in comic stores. Just anytime I saw one and I might have been in a plaza, oh, there's a comic shop, I'm going in there. Because I always, even when I wasn't buying them, I still loved going in comic stores and looking at all the stuff. But it was always very overwhelming. Like, man, where could I start? I can't just pick up, I don't want to buy one comic. Like, I want all this stuff. So, I just kind of left it alone. But then, like I said, that House of X thing came out, Powers of X. So right off the bat, that's 12 comics. And then you had Dawn of X with all the Krakoa stuff, and there's like 6 titles, and they've all got, 6, 7 comics that in the beginning. So now I've got a huge stack of books. And I'm loving this dude, Jonathan Hickman. This incredible. I've never read comics like this before. I didn't know comics were like this. And I'm like, man, what else has this guy done? So I started finding all the other stuff by Hickman, the Avengers and his what he did a Fantastic Four, there's like Secret Warriors, like all kinds of stuff. And so then I would buy those runs, like you said, finding runs that I liked, I would buy those. And now I've got, short boxes full of comics. And I was like, whoa, you know what? I got a nice collection here. I think I'm gonna keep going, and I go on eBay and buying whole runs at a time, buying lots and stuff like that. And then I started getting into Valiant because I was just a reader. Like, I wasn't into really collecting yet. I just wanted to read them. And I found that Valiant is the best publisher for, readers, because it's got the best like jumping on points. They're very good at, keeping you up to par with what's going on. They keep a small number of characters, so it's not, so overwhelming like a Marvel or DC. You have no idea where to start. How many different Spider-Man titles are there?
Too many.
And it's too many with all of them.
Yeah, too many Spider-Man titles, but they're all good.
Yeah.
Well, then again, I could do without a couple of them, but most of them are good. Most of the Spider-Man titles are real good. You know what I never liked about Spider-Man is how they leave you hanging. Spider-Man leaves you at the end of every Spider-Man comic. They leave you hanging like you.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty typical with comics. That's the thing. Like comics. That's why I was, for a while, like I said, I was just reading, so I didn't see the point in buying one comic, because to me that's like watching one episode of a TV show. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened before that, what's going to happen after that. Like you said, it's always a cliffhanger, so you want to know what's next, but and then like you don't know what's going on because you didn't read the first 100 issues.
Yeah.
So it's like, man. Then I realized, okay, there's arcs. You don't have to buy 500 issues of Batman. You could find arcs that are 10 issue runs and things like that. And then I was like, okay, that's what I started collecting. And then I started seeing these Virgin variants, and I'm like, whoa, those are dope. So I started buying Virgin variants, collecting those. And then I think from there, then it was like, okay, key issues. Then I learned about that, and I'm like, I started collecting key issues. And yeah, it just went nuts. Howard Johnson said that's what happened to once he got his stimulus last year. He spent his money on Funko Pops. Yeah.
Hey, you tell her, and we love him for it.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, if it's extra money, listen, and you can. What else you gonna be able to get? Unless we go to another lockdown. Other than that, get some more stimulus. I mean, I don't blame him. I would have spent it on Pops too.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's not just comics, it's collectibles, period. The whole collectibles market just exploded during the pandemic, and yeah, it had to do with stimulus, and it had to do with people being at home, like you said, not having nothing to do, not being able to get out, so everybody's shopping online, and then they start ordering comics and stuff on eBay, ordering collectibles and all of that, and they want to know what to do with their money. And
right, so they got the time. I mean, literally, with the money, like you said, but the main thing it boils down to is if you have the time, you're gonna go in there, you're gonna find some stuff. You might even stumble across something that you didn't even think of before. You like, oh wow, what is that? And you start looking, and next thing you know, you're like, click, buy, and it's at your door 3 days later.
Yeah,
you run across stuff. I look, even during the pandemic, I ran across a few things, man. I redid my basement. I hung up my whole Steelers collection. I'm like halfway through it, but I just didn't, I didn't have the time before that. But now,
Right. Yeah, man, got all kinds of stuff done. I built a bookshelf.
Yeah.
Just shit that nothing I would have been able to do before, man. Getting stuff done. It's cool. I mean, that's how I started a lot of this. That's how we got into this YouTube thing.
Yeah. During that
Straight up.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing it hardcore. We were hardcore.
Full
Dude.
blast radio, man, up there with DJ Tiger and them in the chat room. Like, I'm spending whole days in the chat. My wife's like,
Bro, you
"Dude,
like listen,
what are you doing?" It's like, yo,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I met this new community of people, and we meet up every day in this chat, and we chop it up and talk about whatever hip hop and like minded stuff, and then we start talking about comics. And the DJ Tiger saw that in the chat, and he's like, "Yo, we're gonna talk about some comics on the Zoom. I'm gonna broadcast a Zoom. Let's do that after this set." And I was like, "Man, you don't even know. I've been trying to start this YouTube channel." So we started doing hip hop and comics, and it was
back.
history after that.
Yeah, never look back.
And here we are. So it's new comic book day indie review.
Yes,
we
sir.
got King Spawn #1, and we got. It's a long one. It's another one of these long title indies, man, that are always good. The Me You Love in the Dark, issue #2. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. It's like, what? Something is killing the children. We only find them when they're dead. The Me You Love in the Dark.
Me You Love in the Dark. Listen.
10-word titles. You know it's gonna be good if there's more than 5 words in the title.
Except for Fantasy Island, which only had 2 words in the title, but was still good.
Oh yeah.
In the Love Boat. In the Love Boat.
So what do you want to talk about first? King Spawn or
King Spawn? I was trying to read it. I got a little ways through it. Spawn comics are very dialogue heavy, man. They just they're very dialogue heavy before you get any action. But the dialogue is always, how can I put it? Interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say clever.
Right? Yeah. Clever would be a good word. But also picked up. Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, Spawn was one of the comics that when I first got into collecting comics when I was maybe 13 years old or whatever, like 1990, 91, I think, something like that. Whenever Spawn came out, I got Spawn off the newsstand, issue 1. Like, as soon as it came out, I got that right off the shelf, like, and I was collecting those like as they came out.
Oh wow!
Spawn 1, 2, 3. That was one of the first things I collected. That and all the Carnage stuff.
Okay.
All the Spider-Man, Black Suit, Carnage, Venom, all of that stuff. And there it is, man. King Spawn. So to have Spawn Universe just came out, and now King Spawn is very nostalgic for me. And I think a lot of collectors from that era, having Spawn come back, because as much as I've always loved Spawn, I've always felt like it had a lot of room to evolve. It was a lot, it kind of leveled off, and then it was like, okay, what now? But Todd McFarlane's new initiative with the 3 new titles is a great step towards that. And by kicking off the expansion with King Spawn, Sean Lewis gets a chance to set the tone for this major attempt to develop Spawn further. And this is written by Sean Lewis with Todd McFarlane, art by Javi Fernandez, colors by FCO Placencia, and letters by And World Design.
Dope art.
Absolutely incredible. King Spawn #1. It reveals a very grim supernatural world worth exploring. I'm very into it. The whole thing. It's the much anticipated King Spawn #1 is it's out in comic shops. You can pick it up right now, and we already know it's a huge sales success due to all the pre-orders. Following in the footsteps of Spawn Universe, Sean Lewis and Todd McFarlane are writing sort of an anthology issue. There's with King Spawn, albeit with the lead story, the lead A story. But expect this is an exercise issue to feature King Spawn, Haunt, Nightmare, the Hero, and Gunslinger stories. All right, given its sales success, though, we have to ask: is it any good? Is it just hype?
From what I read, it was actually really good. Dialogue wise, it was really good. And next month they're promoting a Gunslinger Spawn. But if you haven't read it, go read it. It's good reading. It really is. I mean, we
definitely.
need another Spawn TV show or anime or something, anything. But we
Yeah,
don't
'cause
have.
I
We
thought they
don't.
were doing I'm hearing like rumors of a new movie, you know what I mean? So that would be dope.
That'd be
Show
great.
or a movie. Hell yeah. But this issue opens up with an unexpected first scene involving an elementary school. The teacher is kind, but also has a Bible in his bag. That's a good hint that something is up. Soon, utter destruction and chaos ensue, and Spawn is on the case. Somewhat surprisingly, the main story here is more of a hard-boiled detective story, kind of noir. You know what I'm saying? And that's my kind of thing. That's why I'm Reno Noir. Spawn is sure demons or angels. Sure, it's like a heaven and hell kind of thing, like a war. You know what I mean? And it's all it means to get his attention. Listen, so Lewis writes a strong opening story with very pissed off Spawn looking for answers. And he finds some answers along the way, and his journey around the city is rendered wonderfully by Javi Fernandez with colors by FCO Placencia. In one scene where he's confronting two characters, he appears to be above them, and the portal comes in on warps the shades of the window in a very cool way. I really dug, how they did that, and you get the sense of his supernatural abilities, thanks to the art, but also the badass imagery we've come to expect with bullets strapped across his chest, the big guns, all of that Spawn, great Spawn, tropes. And yeah, man, Placencia delivers some of the best colors yet, especially with the ominous light in that final scene, or the weird green glow of Spawn's powers. There's, like I said, a noir element to the book that's unmistakable due to the gray tones used here and there. And ultimately, the story flows somewhat slowly, but it hits hard when major reveals take place, especially in a double page splash of a very gory monitoring room. That build up that buildup of stakes and danger leads to a classical talking head TV show page, and then the final reveal. It's unclear exactly who we're seeing, at least for a casual Spawn reader like myself, but the cliffhanger is intriguing. Let me see if I can blow that up for the people.
Yeah, blow that up. Let them see that.
It's dope. Following so there's that, and then following the main story is a Haunt short drawn by Steven Segovia. Haunt. And it's nice to check in on where he's been, and there's one hell of a full page reveal of the state he's in after falling in love. The story here does well to remind us of Haunt's abilities and the dynamic, of his ghost brother, but it also sets up a ticking time bomb mission to save himself. And then you've got Marcio Takara draws the nightmare story, which leans heavily into. You got it?
Yeah.
Nice. Which leans, yeah, I like that shit. That shit is wicked. Nightmares. It's definitely hellish imagery and gore. Nightmare Spawn is a rather cool looking character, and Takara nails the monstrous nature of the character. It's a shorter tale, though. It's a shorter little story, and then it's followed up by The Hero, drawn by Philip Tan, which plays out like a good horror vignette. There's a twist to that tale, and it'll be interesting to see how this character is going to be used in the future, I think. And the final story is drawn by Brett Booth and focuses on Gunslinger, who's my favorite so far. Like I'm totally down with that. I like the whole Gunslinger, you know what I mean? Spaghetti Western style, like Cad Bane, or Stephen King's The Gunslinger,
Yeah.
Dark Tower, and all of that. And this one's more like a quick recap or kind of a catch up on the character, as it explains, what happened to him and how revenge ruined him and where he's at now. And also in the book, there's a solid interview of Sean Lewis by Todd McFarlane that actually adds a bit of context as we embark on this new direction for Spawn. Um, I think Spawn number one King Spawn, rather, #1 is an intriguing start to the series that does everything it needs to spark casual and hardcore fan interest. Played out like a hard-boiled detective story. It's right up my alley, the whole noir thing. I love noir, like Spider-Man noir, all that, X-Men noir. I love noir comics. Um, and the main story draws you into a very complex world of angels and demons. Todd McFarlane kind of explained all of this. Check him out on the Comic Crusaders Al Mega interview that he did with on Comic Crusaders with Todd McFarlane, and he definitely breaks down the whole Spawn universe storyline, what it's going to be about, and then into King Spawn, and kind of how they set it up with the whole war between heaven and hell. Very good interview. Check that out on Comic Crusaders. And then, of course, the shorts that accompany the main story serve as a great taster and set up for what's to come. King Spawn reveals an ugly supernatural world that's grim in its realism, holding you spellbound to the very end.
It does. I read I read the first story and then I kind of skipped to the last because to me it was set up like what's the one we read last month before Spawn?
Spawn Universe.
Yeah, Spawn Universe. Yeah, the comic
Right.
is. I mean, right. Yeah, the comic's set up like that, and if that's a tale of things to come, I guess they're all going to be like that. Where it's going to tell more. Yeah, it's going to tell more than one story.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, reading the Spawn book, I like that better. I could say because, like I said, Spawn comics are real dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
So giving me something else to focus on through 32 pages or whatever, 52 pages is actually refreshing. It's a different approach, and I like it. Well, I can honestly say I like it.
Yeah, I love the anthology style.
Yeah, I love it, man. I think it's great. I think they should keep it up.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, man, I highly recommend this. It's like I said, man, it's great to see something new from Spawn, which we haven't seen in decades.
Yeah.
It's just been
at least 2 decades.
And not that it's been boring or bad or anything. It's just been what it is, and now there's something new. So right. I think that's dope. Yeah, so I would give it I would give this one a super dope. I love this book.
I agree. I concur, sir. Super dope.
Concur.
Yeah. You get a chance, go pick up King Spawn.
Absolutely.
You
really loved it.
After reading it, from what I read, a little bit I read, I still got to read the middle part.
Yeah,
I've read Spawn since day one, and it was always hit or miss for me. But this right here it's been hit all the way.
Definitely. So yeah, you definitely get 2 thumbs up from here. And you loved the Me You Love in the Dark too.
Listen, I am. Listen, my eyes was this big reading the comic the whole time, man.
It's your homie Scotty Young. That's our boy.
I know. Look, his art style is in here. Look, I mean, I got a second print of the first issue. I can't believe I walked by the first issue, but this right here is good comic book reading. This is, if you don't go get it, it's past phenomenal. Look, let me break it down. The Me You Love in the Dark is a story about a girl who's trying to find herself. She actually is an artist, who has some success, but right now she's in a bit of a slump. She can't create. She can't think. She's her creative juices just aren't flowing.
Not flowing.
So she started buying homes and renting them out, and then she was looking for a home that she could rent, but also that would inspire her at the same time. And she comes across this house, and in the beginning, the realtor's telling her, like, look, you might want to pass this one by because we've heard a lot of stories about it being haunted. So let's just go on to the next one. The girl says, wait. So this might be what I need. So she says, let's go in. It skips over. Next scene, she's moving in. And they give you the impression she's been there maybe a week. Maybe, maybe 2. Because she hasn't really unpacked. So she says to the ghosts, supposedly that lived there, She said, "Listen, you guys can help me unpack and hang up some things. If you really haunt, this is really ghost living."
Yeah.
And she goes upstairs with a bottle of wine. She goes to bed. She tried to paint. She couldn't paint anything.
Right.
Next night, same thing. Now they show you in the book when you read it, the right here, right here, that question mark looking white thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is this. That's the ghost. That's the spirit. And you see it. It's floating around. It's watching her.
Mm.
And you can see it here. It's still watching her, and she's talking to it the whole time. She's sitting there talking to it, but it's not answering her. She's trying to paint, but she can't paint. There's another picture of it there, and it's just watching her.
The white squiggly line.
The white squiggly line. That's her.
Mm-hmm.
That's the entity, and they show it. And it's pretty prevalent in the whole book. So the crazy part. This is where it gets crazy. I'll tell you.
Now, does she see it?
No, she doesn't see it until we get to. Okay, right here. We get right here. She's frustrated, right? She's been in there. She's in the house a couple weeks. She's frustrated. She's going through it. She can't create. So she takes her easel, the whole setup of paint, the easel, the canvas, and she just throws it across the room. Blah. And then she says, I'm done. I can't do this. I can't do anything. Because in the whole book is she just keeps saying, maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll create something tomorrow. And then she finally draws like this weird picture. And then, like I said, she has a tantrum and she throws it. And she doesn't like what she created. And then it says here, what do you say? Ghost, should I just pack it in and go back to being a barista? And then the ghost says, no, you should not. So then she says, holy crap. Because now she can hear it. Like before, it wasn't saying anything. It was just watching her the whole time. And she can't see it. So she runs outside. She's looking around because she's thinking maybe her mind's playing tricks on her. She had too much wine. So she's like, wait a minute. So then she goes back in. She just has a conversation with the ghost. She says, hey, listen, the ghost explains to her, like, look. She was like, are you a ghost? And he was like, not really. And he was like, but if that's what you want to call me. But then she did do what you said. She asked, show me yourself. So he says, well, I can't because you won't be able to comprehend what I am. But it was like, but don't worry, I'm here for you. So then he's talking to her. That's the end of the first issue. We get to the second issue, and she's talking to the ghost. Now they're talking. It starts off by letting you know that she's been talking to him for a little bit.
Right.
And
I read the second issue.
Right. He starts asking her questions, and then she starts answering them. They're asking each other questions. So when we get to the second issue, now she's getting to know him. And she's asking him questions. He's explaining what he is. But to me, it's kind of vague. He's being very, very selective about what he tells her, but he's telling her enough to appease her curiosity, but not telling her everything. So when you read it, you get that impression that it's something that he's holding back, but he just won't let her know. Right. So then she gets this inspiration, she gets inspired. She paints this picture. She's pleased with it. So she asks him to come see it. So when he comes, she says, what do you think? He says, it's great. What is it? And she says, I think that's what you look like. Because she doesn't know what he looks like. The comic ends with them showing you what he really looks like, but she can't see it. She can't see what he looks like. So they show you the painting, and then they show kind of what he really looks like. And he says, like, you'd be shocked to know what I really look like, but I don't look like that. That's what but he doesn't tell her that. The comic is good. This is some right. This is some. It was
her initial interaction with the otherworldly being sharing her living space goes as well as it possibly could in this one. Writer Scotty Young does a great job of giving a voice to both the characters. Rose's side of the conversation is always nervous and uneasy and a bit disjointed, and has sudden issues with learning other being has learning that the other being has been in the house without her knowledge come to her mind. But while she is written well, it is, the other side of the conversation that truly delivers, I think. And Young's choosing of what the spirit says sometimes doesn't say in this comic. I'm just read the whole title. Creates an aura of uncertainty surrounding the being. And he presents himself as polite, considerate,
Yes.
a good presence. Yeah, something is kind of off. You could tell enough, just enough that it makes it feel strange. And I think the creature's politeness comes across a bit cold, combined with the beautiful lettering for the creature that they do. His name is Piecos, the letterer does for the creature. You can't help but feel a chill with his words. How they kind of look, even with their meanings. Shouldn't. And Corona does the art, and throughout he does a great job of maintaining the delicate balance of what to show and what not to show the reader. The moments when Corona begins to reveal some aspect of the creature to the reader's eyes are executed skillfully.
Yeah.
And this presentation melds perfectly with Young's writing, I think. And Corona's skillful artwork also fits well with the character Ro. The start of the story's roller coaster of emotion is delivered through the art in a stark and hard hitting way. And I gotta give a shout out to my man Noah's Amazing Reviews, who's in the building. Shout out Noah's Amazing Reviews. Thanks for coming, buddy. He got a phenomenal YouTube channel. Check him out, Noah's Amazing Reviews. He's 8 years old and has interviewed some of the top names in comics, from like top names, like major artists, writers, everything. Check out his interviews. Kid's a genius. Kid's a prodigy. Shout out Noah.
Yeah, Noah, what's up?
And but yeah, man. Wrapping up our look at Me You Love in the Dark 2, along with the praise from Stu for the dialogue, and design for the creature. The artist does excellent job of placing that dialogue throughout the book. As the creature is generally off panel or otherwise obscured, the dialogue for it is much less grounded, which gives the letter more control over where to place it. And Picos does an excellent job utilizing this freedom to keep the story flowing smoothly. So wrapping it all up, the Me You Love in the Dark #2 does a magnificent job of delivering Rose's encounter with her unexpected guest. It gives the encounter a lot of nuance, emotion, and left me wondering where this is all going to lead. And just a flawless performance all around, everybody involved. I think this is going to be a big one. I mean, it already is. It's already a very popular comic.
Yeah, I definitely have to say it is skillful writing. The pace is great. The art is great. The story is even better. It's exhilarating to read in a sense because it's fresh and it's new. And I like the fact of how they progressively showed her relationship with him is growing because like the more he talks to her, the more she opens up. The more she opens up,
right,
the more he goes in, like he comes in.
right.
But like you said, it's just you just get the feeling it's just something he's not telling her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know. Yeah, it's like I'm waiting to see what he really
looks
what this
like.
thing is. Yeah,
Right,
what is it?
what he is, right? What he looks like. They won't tell you,
But yeah, man, it's making you want to know. Like that's what's dope about it. It makes you want to know what you got there. Let's see, what is this?
This is Black Manta #1.
DC. Stay away, Big Two, bad Big Two.
Yeah, well, Black Man. Whoa.
We can't talk Big Two.
No, we won't talk Big Two. I was just showing them the cover.
Nah,
Go pick up Black Manta #1. We'll discuss it on Monday
for sure
on the 6 Element Hip Hop and Comics show. On Monday, we'll discuss Black Manta #1. We'll check that out. We'll also talk about Suicide Squad #7 and the Suicide Squad annual. That story is so dope right now. It is actually the dopest story in comics right now. That story arc.
Wow.
Look, if you can get Suicide Squad 1 through 7, you can still get them cheap and get the annual. But before you read #7, read the annual, then read #7. Because I like what they did is that they incorporated that story from the annual into the 7th book.
Right.
But we'll discuss all that on Monday.
Absolutely. And yeah, man. And also tonight. I'm sorry, not tonight.
Oh,
tomorrow night I'm gonna be on a show with Dodgy from Indie Crusaders and another co-host that we're gonna have on there as well. So it's gonna be big. Comic Crusaders. Shout out Almega and Dodgy. It's gonna be called Sundercats, and it is gonna be every Thursday, and we're gonna talk about indie publishers. Tomorrow's episode, the first episode, is gonna be all about Image, and we're gonna talk about a few of the new comics that are out. We'll definitely be talking about King Spawn and some of the other joints. But yeah, it's gonna be all about Image, and then the next episode will be about Boom Studios, and the next episode, Valiant or whoever, whatever indie. So every episode will be a different indie publisher that we're gonna talk about. It's gonna be phenomenal. Uh,
sounds
definitely, yeah, it's gonna be great. Check that out. So,
so just remember, these are the Cooks pick of the week.
absolutely.
So when you get a
Check
chance,
those out. Cooks
check them out. Cooks pick of the week. Black Manta, and Me You Love in the Dark.
sneaks in.
Yes, sir. Get them. Listen, these indie comics, I've been, I mean, you got me hooked on them now, bro. I've actually been, really looking into them. Like,
Yeah.
And me being a big collector like I am, I would have never really gave them the time of day, bro. I would have just been like, oh, well,
Yeah, me neither, man. I think I stumbled onto really. I mean, really, what got me was we only find them when they're dead. When I read that, and I was like, yo, this is like good. Like this is like really good. I'm like, well, I wanted to check out more
that
indies,
was
and
good.
then
That was good. We only found
dope
one
shit.
that was
Indies,
great.
indies are dope, and they don't get a lot of light. They don't get a lot of props, and that's why we're doing this show. That's why we're doing the show that I'm on tomorrow with Comic Crusaders, because I looked at it like this. Every YouTuber on Wednesday does the new comic book day reviews, but they always review the Marvel, the DC, all the big ones, and everybody talks about the Marvel DC stuff, and everybody's got a video about this Spider-Man or that Wolverine or this Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman, but nobody's talking about the indies. So I wanted to dedicate, a whole day on just like giving the light to these indies, man, because I read, you know what I mean, so I read books, I read comics, you do too. We're readers. That's I think why we appreciate indies, because we like literature and they are literature. It's not kid stuff. It's usually not even superhero stuff. It's just literature and beautifully drawn and amazingly written. But so in celebration of Scotty Young, who did this indie series that we just looked at today, You Only Love Me in the Dark. You got me into Scotty Young. See, I wasn't rocking with Scotty Young at first. I thought it was like kid stuff. I was like, man, what's this baby shit? I thought it was corny. But then something you showed me or something. I was like, yo, that's dope. And then I started getting them. I got to show you this.
Break it out, brother. Break it out.
You created a monster. These are all Scotty's.
Wow, wow, you really.
I went in.
Yeah, I see. You got your Scotty Young, huh?
I went in deep. I went in super deep. Check these out. Some of these are fucking stunning, dude. This one, this is another one that, again, I know it's indie comics, but this is a book. This is a new title from Marvel that is my kind of shit. I mean, this is a dope story so far. I'm definitely gonna be, subscribing and reading this. It's called Dark Ages. Highly recommended. But what I love about this Scotty Young cover is it's just like a bunch of the other covers I'm gonna show you in a second. But check these out. This is that's my man Jonathan Hickman. Ooh, I love that. You got Professor X, Mr. Sinister, and Wolverine, and two of my favorite villains, Onslaught and Doom. Love this one, dude. This is all the spice, Superior Spider-Man. This shit is hot. Got all the Spider-Mans on there.
Yeah, that's dope. I like that.
And that's a big, yeah, that's a hot issue. Love these ones though. I love these ones where it's like a big, one big picture in the middle. Love that. Big picture with a solid color background. Those are my favorite of these. And you got the old man Logan.
I like that one.
Yeah, got Iron Man and Tony Stark.
That's dope. That
That's
is dope.
dope.
Yeah, I love, man. This is why I like Scotty Young, man. That's what I was telling you. Hey, look,
Word.
come on, man. You can't.
Legion, come on, man.
Yeah, it's just his whole art style, man, that just makes it. Look at that.
I got the poster to this big ass poster right here. Look.
Oh wow, that's dope. That's dope. That is dope.
So I had to grab the comic to it. This is dope. He got Professor X dropping the mic and shit. Ultimate End.
Yeah, where'd you find all these covers at, man?
Bro. Different collectors, man. Some of them on eBay, most of them on Instagram, a lot of them from, my fellow madmen of comics. Shout out Chronic Schizo. He's one of the he's like the main Scotty dude. Like he's the one that always has all the Scotties. X-Men #1.
Oh wow,
This
I like
one's
that.
fire right here. There's a Moon Knight right here.
Yeah, I got that one. Sure, yeah.
This is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Star-Lord joint. This might be my favorite. It's my favorite character anyway.
Wow, that's dope. That is dope.
Shit. $20.99 Spidey.
I think I have that one. I
Definitely
definitely have that one. Yeah, I definitely got that one.
Got the Spider-Gwen.
That's
all
dope.
new with the Spider-Gwen. But I just love, man. Look at the style. And this is one of my favorite comics, period. Definitely my favorite Thanos story right here. Thanos Rising. And Wolverine Origin. I could have bought all the House of X, Powers of X, Scotty Young covers, but I did not know what I had, man. I didn't know what they were. I was in the comic shop and dude was trying to show me he's like, yo, I got all the Scotty Youngs. And I'm like, oh fuck. I'm looking at him like, you trying me with this shit? And yeah, man, I had no idea, man.
Oh man, you could have got all the House of X and Scotty Young.
The whole House of X and Powers of X, all of them. They had all of them there at the LCS. This is one of my favorites. Just look at that. Look at the style, man. It's just
I like that.
Simple, really but it's dope. Love that one. This is definitely one of my favorites right here. That Punisher is nasty.
That's hella dope.
There's a bunch of these that he did with the character coming down and hanging upside down. There's a Black Widow one. There's a bunch of the Spidey ones. I've got some. This is my shit right here, though. Yo, this one and the Wolverine are my favorite.
Yeah, that is hella dope. Look at that.
This is my favorite.
Look at that.
Hell yeah. Magneto and Professor X. But this is one of them. I mean, I ended up getting a lot of the House of X, Powers of X ones, which I have here. I love this one. I love the style. Like he's got Wolverine and Cyclops sitting here, and they got their trading cards out, or maybe they're common. I don't know. But Wolverine's got his claw stuck through one of them, and he said, "I'll trade you a mint condition mullet Bishop for a classic Magneto. What do you say, bub?" And Cyclops says, "I say you don't know what mint condition really means." Because he's got his claw through it.
Yeah, he poked 3 holes in it.
Or this one's hot. Scream. Scream's going to be a very big character coming up soon. And then here's another one of those upside down hangers. Lasher. But yeah, man, this is it's become a real hobby, man. Just these Scotty Youngs, man. Some of these are so dope, dog. I just love it. I love the colors. I love the style. It's crazy.
Like that, man. I like that a lot, bro. Those Scotty Young covers are, when I first started seeing Scotty Young covers, I was like, man, this art style is just like dope. And then,
Hell
like,
yeah.
I just kept buying and buying and buying and buying. And the next thing I knew, I was like you, I had a stack of Scotty Youngs, and it's addictive, bro.
Yeah.
The art style is just incredible, man. It's off the chain. I gotta break my Scotty Youngs out, man. Show them off. I got some older ones.
Got to. I just realized these came from Midtown Comics in New York City,
Oh, get
Manhattan,
out.
right from Manhattan. Yo, I could have sworn I had that bullseye one. It's kind of like this, but yeah, I love this one. I just got this the other day. I got a Miles Morales joint on deck,
Yes,
coming
yes,
too.
please. Yes, please. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Scotties. Shout out Corey Adger in the building, Diamond Onyx in the house. Said what's up to Noah's amazing reviews, Howard Johnson, Defective Chimp, Angel Escobedo, everybody for coming, man. We thank you and we appreciate you. And and a big shout out to my man Malverde Designs. Check him out on Instagram. It's Malverde, Malverde Designs. He does these amazing 3D printed comic book stands. You could, for your slabs or for your raw books, just little stands that you put the comic in, but they're made in the font of like if it was Lasher, it would be printed out exactly like that, but a big 3D joint that you would stick the comic in like that, and it says Lasher real big.
Oh, that's dope.
And they're dope. But he just made me a custom joint, Sixth Element Comics with the logo. Crazy, dude. Dude's
Yeah,
mad talented.
yeah. You got to send me his handle on Instagram so I can go and talk to him, get a couple joints made, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the comment. I'm gonna put the comment in the chat.
Okay, that'll work.
So everybody that is in here now, check him out on Instagram. And everybody that's on Twitter right now, and everybody that's on Twitch, y'all all got that's his Instagram right there. But yeah, man, we did Spawn. Now next, well, we were gonna do this one, Helm Greycastle, but we'll do that next time because that's another. I'm telling y'all, Helm Greycastle is dope. That's number 4, just came out from Top Cow. Top Cow's an amazing indie publisher, and Helm Greycastle is dope. It's like Dungeons and Dragons type RPG, type of style of stuff, but it's all based in like Aztec, Montezuma era, South America. But you got the dude with the orcs and you know what I mean, all those wizards and all of those D&D tropes, but set in a Latino uh world, and it's dope. It's trying to I don't want to butcher the name, but definitely check out Helm Greycastle. It is really dope.
Yeah, I haven't looked. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Barajas, Valenza, Handoko, Downey, and Napier. But they do their thing. Phenomenal book. This cat right here, he's like the main character, and there's like Montezuma, of course, and it's just dope.
So you've been reading it?
Yeah. Well, I'm not up to speed to issue 4. I just don't have time to keep up with joints like that. But I've read issue 1 and 2,
Okay.
so I'm almost up to speed. But yeah, and of course I just read issue 4, so 3 is the only one I haven't read yet. So, but I recommend it highly. But yeah, man, that is our show, y'all. It is been 49 minutes. We went over a couple of minutes, but yeah, man, we'll be back, of course, every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. for a 30-45 minute little review, and then check us out Thursday on Comic Crusaders, and we will be starting DC Day, me, you, and Spadenomics Comics. I want to do that on Saturday. get in here, just talk DC all the whole show. DC, and
sure
not just
you
Batman.
you
I'm
sure
ready.
you ready for that?
I'm ready.
All right, man.
I'm ready.
All
And
right.
come back Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here for hip hop and comics. And keep your eye out, man. I got Pharoah Monch on deck. He's coming. He's coming.
And we also
Just
have
talked to him the other day.
And we also have Lance, the regular collecting comic book guy.
Yeah, just a regular guy.
Just a regular guy. Just a regular guy. Like we were talking earlier, he is literally one of the people, is a person that we're talking about who, since the pandemic, ramped up his collecting, ramped up this, ramped up, his, and being that he's the regular collecting comic book guy, he can tell us some stories about what he's been through, prices, things he's collected. He says he has an awesome 90s collection of Marvel comics.
Can't wait.
Me too. But I took him down to Wade's Comic Madness, where you can get your comics tagged and slabbed, and they tagged and slabbed a few of his comics for him. So,
Nice.
So we, got him on deck. So we'll get him on a Monday.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to get people like Donnie Cates and even Chris Claremont, Tom King, putting feelers out, man. Trying to talk to these people, man, and try to get them on the show for y'all. I want to give y'all good content, man, and real good interviews. Yo, man, and talk to my man. I should talk to my man Noah's Amazing Review. He got all the hookups, man. My homie got all the hookups. Yo, check out Noah's joints, man. He got some major good interviews on there. But yeah, man, this has been Sixth Element of Hip Hop, New Comic Book Day Indie Reviews. I am your host, Reno Noir, and Stu Dog is your host. Signing off, y'all. Peace. Yo.
My whole family came in here at one time.
Oh, word.
All the noise. My wife, all the noise.
Yeah, so that was the outro we were supposed to cut after that. But,
outro was dope. My wife is the main noise maker around here.
Hey, we do this from home.